Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the very first edition of Wake Up Project Radio. It's associated with the Wake Up Project. You can find that at wakeupproject.com. This is a pre-recorded show. Hopefully, inshallah, in the future we can evolve into truly interactive radio programming with you. My name is Susan. I'll be co-hosting this show with Sister Nimra.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
And I know I speak for both of us when I say that we are both very humbly honored to be a part of this very first radio broadcasting event. So it only seemed appropriate that we should kick off this very first radio program with an interview with Brother Achernahr, which most of you know is co-creator of the very famous Arrivals series, which essentially swept the globe unawares, just gained incredible notoriety from people of all faiths and even atheists alike. It brought people all together for a truly riveting perspective on, let's call it the global conspiracy. It's specifically an Islamic perspective, but like I said, it's pulled people from all faiths and even atheists together because it is truly riveting and truly provocative. So we've got Brother Achernahr with us. Let's just go ahead and introduce him. So, Brother Achernahr, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum, I'm here.
Oh, great. Okay, so we've got you there. And as I understand it, you're actually on the road right now. You're not even at home, so you're breaking out of your busy schedule. And I think you gave us a forewarning that you may even be interrupted in the middle of this interview. So we'll just play that by ear, see how that goes for us.
Well, that sadly seems to be the case, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, very good. So it seems to me, just maybe the first basic question, how did this Arrival series just start? Whose idea? How did the whole thing come into being?
Well, Susan, am I correct?
Yep.
Susan?
Uh-huh.
Yes, okay, Susan. Well, basically, I was just regular guy, like, or the rest of the people who first started watching the Arrivals. And I wasn't truly aware of everything that was going on in this world, but I did understand that there was something wrong. We all had Muslims around the world already have like a built-in radar, watching the news or whatnot. It's not quite what it seems like. Like Sheikh Imran Hussein says, appearance and reality are not quite the same thing. So I was always susceptible to this type of information. And I never quite started to get into it until a good old friend of mine, who's known on YouTube as Freedom to You, had contacted me and told me to start watching some of these videos by Alex Jones, by David Icke. And, one thing led to another. You know how the internet works. You watch a video, you got the related videos tab on the side, you got the comments, you got people advertising their stuff, and you get sucked into this whole web.
Yep.
And at first it was actually quite confusing because there's so many different people trying to do different things, and a lot of times the information was conflicting. At the same time, coming from a Muslim background, it was a bit shaking, to say the least, because, all these people were coming out with a theory that, like, the Illuminati control religion. Now, all the theories regarding the Illuminati were very, pretty much 100% head-on, except for this theory.
Yep.
But this theory started to shake the idea a bit because they were so right with everything else. And I was wondering, there has to be a different, case about this. Isn't there anyone out there doing something that's taking this from a more religious perspective? And coincidentally enough, somehow, by switching from page to page, I got on a channel called Hashim's Films. And he had done a series called The Antichrist Dajjal. Now, when I came upon that page, he was on episode 3 of what eventually became a 483-episode series. So had I checked that page a week later, it would have been 50 episodes, and I might have just ignored it, thinking, you know what, this is too much to start getting into. But, subhanAllah, just came on time. And to say the least, that was the most riveting series I've ever seen. I still consider it a lot better than The Arrivals. And I know Abdullah Hashim is listening, and he's probably rolling his eyes now, but that's the truth. But anyway, that's the case. When I started to watch this, and then I told Freedom to You about it, I was like, listen, I know you sent me David Icke and Alex Jones, but I'm going to send you something that's going to blow your mind. And I did, and he couldn't even believe it. And then Noriega got in on it, who was another old friend of mine. And we started to watch the series, and then we saw his page get taken down once, then twice, then 3 times, and 4 times. And of course, every time the page got taken down, there would be less subscribers with every initial time because people would lose them along the way. And so that's when we started to panic. We're like, you know what, guys, all this information is being lost. They keep taking them down, and all this other information is going up. There has to be something we can do. And that's when the concept of the rival started.
Okay.
So we just realized, you know what, we got to take his information and perhaps put it in a smaller, more accessible package for the people. So that if we did get taken down, it wouldn't be too big where like it gets lost on the web.
Okay, so, I mean, just a personal thank you to all of you for doing that, because I remember myself doing the research with David Icke and all that, and just getting sucked down the rabbit hole, and then the zeitgeist thing, and the whole thing that, you know, religion is all made up, it's all a trick, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's got to be another way to present this whole thing that adds up, makes sense, and religion is not a man-made thing. And you guys just answered it so perfectly. So I would say, yeah, I mean, I don't know, A plus from me. So.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
But I mean, we really didn't do much. If you guys watch the series, it's really just a compilation of a lot of other people's work. I mean, all we did was, you know, put it together and put a nice soundtrack on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We understand that Abdullah Hashim's work played a huge role in inspiring the series. So, first of all, how did you guys even get in touch with Abdullah Hashim and actually get him to join you for this project? And in what ways was he specifically involved with the series?
Well, Abdullah Hashim, strangely enough, I mean, this is another one of those coincidences, if there is such a thing. The first time his page got taken down, I got really worried for the guy. We had never spoken before at any time. I was just one of his regular subscribers, and I didn't even comment that much. You know, I would just comment here or there. When the page got taken down, I got worried. I'm like, what's going to happen? Did something happen to the guy? Did it just get taken down? How are we going to find him again? And I happened to be online the very moment he sends me an email, just out of nowhere, saying, page is down, this is the new channel. So I sent him an email back right away, and I was like, you know what, I've downloaded all your stuff, can I have your password, and I'll help you upload everything back up, you know, we'll get back up in a day. And he was like, sure, why not? So he sent me back his password, and we started to upload videos together over the next day or two. And, you know, within a day, all the 90 videos that were down were up. And because of that, I guess he saw that, like, I could be trusted with a password or something. He realized that I didn't do anything malicious or not. One thing led to another. We got to speak on MSN, and eventually he moved out to the Middle East, where I live, and we got to meet and we became, you know, excellent friends. One of the most valuable friends I have, actually.
Wow, that's awesome. So also, how long did this whole project take to complete? And did it even help finance your work? I mean, you don't need to name any names or anything. I was just wondering how you were able to finance all the travel and everything for the film footage.
Well, when it came to, because the initial idea wasn't to make a series called The Arrivals. The initial idea was to make a film called The Awakening. And what had happened was that in my line of business on, you know, in the real world, away from the internet, I get sent a lot on travel from my company. And wherever I was going, I keep seeing all these Illuminati symbols or these ancient structures that belong to ancient schools, which the knowledge has been, you know, passed on by the Illuminati. And I thought, you know, it would be a good idea taking, you know, advantage of my position that I get to travel so much that, you know, I'll take a camera next time and start filming. And I figured out a way within like a 3-4 month period to cover so many locations, 2 of which were between Lebanon and Egypt, at which point that's where I got Abdullah Hashim and Freedom Q Noriega to join me on that little trip. The film itself never got made, but a lot of the footage is being put into different projects that we're doing. But I think the concept of the film wasn't so important as much as it was a chance for all of us to get together. Because it was on that trip where the concept of The Arrivals came up. And that was like all 4 of us sitting together and we're like, you know what, we're going to do this.
Okay. So, well, now I don't think we even need to elaborate any further on the worldwide stir that your videos have caused and the number of lives that they've changed and impacted. But I just want to ask you, how has your life changed since The Arrivals? I mean, we know that you and Noriega caught a lot of flack for this series, including death threats even, which is just crazy. So how has it all affected you, and how have you personally managed to deal with all that?
Well, you know, honestly, I'm pretty sure I think I went through the same thing that a lot of the people watching did, because making The Arrivals was just as much a learning experience for me as it was for the people who were watching, because we were making it as we were going along. We had a very rough copy of how it was going to turn out, but as we were going along, we were doing extra research and releasing it. So we were all pretty, stricken with the information ourselves. It's obviously affected this personal life.